Shalom. First and foremost, as always, I want to give all praise, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachakwadash. I would like to give double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of Great Millstone that taught us this truth and that's still teaching this truth. And much peace, love, and salutation to the elect, beginning with the 144,000, all the way down to the large multitude that believes in who the Lord will deliver in these last days. To you all I say Shalom. I'm the brother Tazamah from the Great Millstone Dallas camp, coming back today with another lesson. And Lord willing, today this lesson will be edifying. Today's lesson is going to be entitled, More Are the Children of the Desolate Than the Married Wife. Alright, more are the children of the desolate than the married wife. And really inspiration of this lesson just comes by way of a discussion that we were having at the street speaking this past Friday. You know, this precept was brought out, and I asked brothers, what exactly this precept meant. And brothers pretty much, had the gist of it correct going into, the elect or the nation of Israel, but really on a deeper standpoint, you know what I'm saying, just really going into the circumcision in the Gentiles, the Israelite foreigners. And I just wanted to do this lesson, like I said, just for edification purposes, as always, as we always do. And Lord willing, this will be an edifying lesson. So I'm gonna start here at Isaiah the 51st chapter, and I'm gonna start here at the top, and I'm gonna read verse 1. All right, it says Isaiah 54 verse 1. It says, "Sing, O barren, thou that didst not bear." Okay, and that word barren pretty much means to be pretty much not to have any children. Okay, it says, break forth into singing, and cry aloud, that thou that didst not travail with child. For more are the children of the desolate than the children of the married wife, saith Yahweh. All right, the children of the desolate. Okay, it's talking about the Israelite foreigners. All right, those of us, all right, that have come into this wisdom, this knowledge, and this understanding. All right, via the street preachings, as well as the videos, however we came through. Whether it was us hearing on the highways and byways, or word of mouth, or like I said, surfing through the internet on YouTube, and we seen a video, and which caused us to wake up. We were considered desolate at one point because we had no idea that we were Israelites. As the scripture says that ye were once. Matter of fact, let's get that real quick. The scripture says that ye were once Gentiles, carried away by these dumb idols. Okay, what's that? 1 Corinthians 12. Okay, this is 1 Corinthians chapter 12 verse 2. All right, it says, ye know that ye were Gentiles, carried away unto these dumb idols, even as ye were led. You see, we were Gentiles at one point, and what caused us to be Gentiles, Israelite foreigners, was the fact that we strayed away from the law, statutes, and commandments, or we broke the covenant. Okay, and during the time of Yahweh Shai, when the 12 disciples was on the scene, specifically, more so when we were in the Roman captivity, beginning with the Greeks, I rather say, and trickle down to the Roman captivity. Okay, it was years and years and years of Hellenization that took place and happened. Roughly around 300 and maybe like 320 years, give or take, where we were just completely destroyed, and we were completely stripped from our heritage. The scriptures talk about how we would discontinue from our heritage. So at one point, whenever you read in the scriptures, you may see the word Gentiles in the New Testament, but what these Christians believe is the fact that that's talking about all nations of people. It's talking about anybody, when it's really talking about Israelites who are in a Gentile state of mind, which is what the likes of Vocab Malone and these other wacky tacky Christians, as well as these other Israelites who once believed in the truth but fell off, like those individuals from Boston that fell out. Now they're teaching that the actual Gentiles, the actual heathen, can make it, which is absolutely incorrect. Okay, so it says, ye know that ye were Gentiles, carried away unto these dumb idols, even as ye were led. Okay, so we were once Gentiles in the mind, as well as not even being circumcised. We got to the point where we weren't even circumcising our children because it was pretty much forbidden to do so. So after hundreds and hundreds of years of falling away, we became desolate. We became pretty much a no people unto Yahweh B'Shem Shai. And those that kept, those that kept the customs, you know, the scribes and the Pharisees, you know, and the Israelites that kept the customs. You know, when you read in the history of the book of Maccabees, they looked down on the Israelites who fell away. They were looked at as heathen. Okay. Let's go to Ephesians 2 real quick. This is the book of Ephesians, chapter 2, verse start of verse 11. It says, wherefore remember that ye being in time past Gentiles in the flesh, right? Gentiles in the flesh, who are called uncircumcision by that which is called the circumcision in the flesh made by hands. You see? So the uncircumcised, or the uncircumcision, was looked down upon the circumcision. All right, the Israelite foreigners were looked down upon by those who knew that they were Israelites, those that were of the circumcision, the Jews, right? Verse 12, it says that at that time you were without Hamashiach, being aliens from the commonwealth of Israel. You see, we were foreigners, we were strangers from the commonwealth of Israel. Now, what does this word commonwealth mean here? All right, we'll get the word commonwealth here. Just bear with me. Blue Letter's been acting up as of lately, as, you know, brothers have been saying. You know, I know it's been acting up for me. You know, but if this don't work, then it is what it is. We'll just have to get the definition here in the etymology. All right, this word commonwealth, it says commonwealth. It says a community. You see, a community, whole body of people in a state. You see, a whole body of people in a state, and the body of people that is talked about here is talking about, you know, collectively the nation of Israel. You see, but that body is talking about those who were once, you know, those who were actually within the covenant, you know, within the law, if you will. Okay. Okay, there you go. Pull it up here. And that word covenant, commonwealth is politia, you know, which goes into like citizenship. Okay, it says a state, a commonwealth. All right, spoken of the theocratic or divine commonwealth. The theocratic is pretty much theo meaning God and cratic meaning rule. The rule of the Most High, or the divine commonwealth. You see, we were broken away from that covenant. You see, which ultimately that covenant, there was no way underneath that first covenant that we could even be justified. So it says that at that time you were without Hamashiach, being aliens from the commonwealth of Israel, and strangers from the covenants of promise. You see, we were strangers of the covenants. We didn't even know that we were even Israelites, man. So we were strangers to the covenants. We were strangers to the promises. We were strangers to, you know, the law. We were strangers to who we actually even were. We were foreign to that. You see, having no hope and without the Most High in the world. So we were considered desolate, but call Halal Yahweh B'Shem Al-Shai through the Holy Spirit. Okay, Yahweh B'Shem Al-Shai B'Shem Rachak, we have been awoken. So now, at one time, we were once desolate. All right, we are now being brought back in through the blood of Yahushua, man. Okay? So, let's go back and, actually, let's go from there. Let's jump to the book of Galatians, the 4th chapter, real quick. And we're going to start here at verse 21. All right, this is Galatians 4 and 21. It says, tell me, ye that desire to be under the law, do ye not hear the law? And he's talking to the Israelites that knew that they were Israelites, because he said, tell me ye that desire to be under the law. Because being under the law is a beautiful thing. Okay, but being under the law, in a sense, underneath that first covenant, okay, because the law, statutes, and commandments will be written in our inward parts. Okay, so the law is holy. You see, but desiring to be under the law according to that first covenant standard is death. You know, it's really bondage at the end of the day. So it says, tell me, ye that desire to be under the law, do ye not hear the law? For it is written that Abraham had 2 sons, the one by a bondmaid, the other by a free woman. Okay, now Abraham had more than 2 sons. He actually had a total of 8 children. You know, but the 2 sons that are really, mentioned is Isaac and Ishmael. Okay, those are the 2 sons that it's talking about. Isaac, okay, being born from Sarah. All right, and Ishmael being born from Hagar. Okay, so it says, for it is written that Abraham had 2 sons, the one by a bondmaid, which is Hagar, the other by a free woman, which is Sarah. Okay, verse 23. All right, it says, but he who was of the bondwoman was born after the flesh. You You see, there was no divine promise that was given to Abraham from the Most High that Ishmael, okay, would be the seed of the promise, because Ishmael ultimately came first. Okay, and technically the inheritance goes to the firstborn son. So it says, but he who was of the bondwoman was born after or according to the flesh. All right, but he of the free woman, Sarah, was born by promise. It was born. Isaac was born by a promise. He was born by an oath that was given. You see, it was a promise that that seed, you know, that the covenant would continue unto Isaac. What's that scripture? That seed shall be called in Isaac. Yep. This is Genesis 21 verse 12. It says, and the Most High said unto Abraham, let it not be grievous in thy sight because of the lad, and because of thy bondwoman. And this is whenever you know, Hagar was pretty much outed. You know, Sarah was told, you know, through the Holy Spirit, Sarah was told to pretty much to X her out, because that was really Sarah's bondwoman. You know, so it says, and because of thy bondwoman, and all that Sarah hath said unto thee, hearken unto her voice, for in Isaac shall thy seed be called. See, because a lot of people like to, you know, just attribute, we're all children of Abraham. No, we ain't. Not everybody ain't children of Abraham. When Abraham was on the scene, you had lots of nations of people that was on the planet Earth, man. Make it seem like everybody on the planet Earth, if you just by faith and you just believe, now all of a sudden you a child of Abraham. You see? No, it's from Abraham unto Isaac and unto Jacob and the 12 tribes of Israel, man. Okay? Romans 9:7, it says, neither because they are the seed of Abraham are they all children. You see? Let's read that again. Neither because they are the seed of Abraham are they all children, but in Isaac shall thy seed be called. You see? It was always about a chosen lineage, a chosen line that was set up. It went from Abraham down to Isaac, down to Jacob, to the 12 tribes, man. Point blank, period. Okay, and that was by promise. You can read Genesis the 17th chapter just to get more insight on that. So let's read verse 23 again. It says, but he who was of the bondwoman was born after the flesh, but he of the free woman was by promise. Okay, was by a covenant, an oath. Verse 24, it says, which things are an allegory. So the birth of the birth of Isaac and the birth of Ishmael was all an allegory. Now, they actually did walk the planet Earth. They actually were born of Abraham, you see. But what was the deeper meaning behind that? Okay, let's get this word allegory real quick here. That word allegory in the Greek is allegoreo. Allegoreo. Okay, is where you get the word allegory from. All right, it says to speak allegorically or in a figure. Okay, to speak allegorically or in a figure, like a similitude. Okay, so going back here, it says, which things are an allegory, for these are the two covenants. The two covenants. What covenants are talked about here? For these are the two covenants. That word covenants is diatheke. Okay, for these are the two covenants. It says Galatians 4:24, it says, namely the Mosaic and the Christian, with the former of which in Hamashiach is called. Okay, and is the Most High's arrangement, i.e. the promise made to Abraham. Okay, you got the Mosaic covenant and they say Christian covenant, but it's really talking about the followers of the Messiah. That's why the scriptures say that the disciples were first called Christians in Antioch. All right, that word Christians, when you break it down in the Hebrew, is Mashiachim, the anointed ones, the followers of the Messiah, the followers of Yahushua, which he's the minister of the new covenant. Okay, that's upon better promises. That's what the two covenants is talking about. You had the first covenant that was upon Mount Sinai. Okay, and then the second covenant that deals with Yahushua's blood being sprinkled, and it's all for Israel at the end of the day. It says, which things are an allegory, For these are the two covenants, the one from the Mount Sinai, which gendereth to bondage, which is Agar. You see, because even with that covenant, which is beautiful, it gendereth or brings forth bondage, because there's no way that you can keep that first covenant standard. You're pretty much in bondage unto death and debt. Okay, that word gendereth is genao. Okay, genao. It says to bear a child unto bondage, and that's exactly what Ishmael was. Ishmael was a child of born. He was a child born into bondage, because Hagar was a bondwoman. You see, now Ishmael became a great and mighty nation as was promised. You see, but he was born unto bondage. That will be a slave, mind you. This is an allegory. So if you want to be underneath that first covenant standard, that first covenant standpoint, you're really a slave unto death at that point, because there's no way that you can be brought into life underneath that first way. Okay, which is what the Apostle Paul was insinuating whenever you read in the book of Galatians, man. Which Galatians is a Galatians is a powerful book, man. When you read it with understanding, it says the one from Mount Sinai, which gendereth to bondage, which is Hagar. Okay, and you can read that covenant. All right, and not covenant, but you can read this here in Exodus 24. This is Exodus 24 and 3. It says, and Moses came and told the people all the words of Yahweh and all the judgments. And all the people answered with one voice and said, all the words which Yahweh has said, we will do. We agreed to that first covenant standard. We agreed to. We said everything that the Lord said, we gonna do it. Right? Verse 4. And Moses wrote all the words of Yahweh and rose up early in the morning and builded an altar under the hill. And 12 pillars, which represent the 12 tribes of Israel, according to the 12 tribes of Israel. Boom. And he sent young men of the children of Israel, which offered burnt offerings and sacrificed peace offerings of oxen unto Yahweh. And Moses took half of the blood and put it in basins, and half of the blood he sprinkled on the altar. Okay, because life is in the blood. You see, so he took the blood, sprinkled half, he put half of it in basins, and he put the other half on the altar, right? And he took the book of the covenant and read in the audience of the people, and they said, all that Yahweh have said will we do, and be obedient. We were not obedient unto that first covenant standard. It was broken. And Moses took the blood and sprinkled it on the people. This is the contract. You see, and said, behold the blood of the covenant which Yahweh hath made with you concerning all these words. You see, so we were pretty much binded by blood, that look, we're gonna obey everything that Moses said, or not Moses, excuse me. We're gonna obey everything that the Lord said. You see, he took the blood and sprinkled it upon the people. Look, everything that the Lord said, y'all gonna do it. We all gonna do it. And we said we gonna do it. We agree. Now, was that done correctly by us, the Israelites? No, we broke it. You see, and the scriptures say what? And it was said Deuteronomy 29, and I'm gonna jump back to Galatians because I don't want to be too long, but I'm just trying to make all these points as they're hitting my head. Deuteronomy 29 and is it Deuteronomy 29? It might be Deuteronomy 27. It might be Deuteronomy 27. Salaki, let me see something. Come on, Blue Letter, don't be tripping now. Boy, all right, let's see. Yep, Deuteronomy 27:26. Salaki, it says, "Cursed be he that confirmeth not all the words of this law to do them." You're cursed. Boom. You see? Let's read that again. Let's read it in the NLT. Your corpses will be wait. Hold up. Is this even NLT? Look, I guess tripping. Hold on. Right. Yeah, I was like, man, what they talking about? Birds? All right. So like Deuteronomy 27:26 in the NLT, it says, "Curses anyone who does not affirm and obey the terms of these instructions." Cursed. And all the people will reply, Amen, which means so be it. You're considered cursed if you don't obey everything that was written in the law. Now, as a people, have we all obeyed the law? The answer is no. Which caused us to what? Be desolate. You see? Now, once again, you have those of the circumcision who did stick to the customs, but even they were still concluded under sin. You see, those that denied Yahushua and those that denied what Yahushua did, and was still trying to the law of this, the law of that, the law. The law can't save you. That first covenant standard cannot save you. Okay? Which is what the Apostle Paul was going into when you read in the book of Galatians. Now let's go back. Galatians 4 and read verse 24 again. It says, which things are an allegory? For these are the two covenants. The one from Mount Sinai, which gendereth the bondage, which is Hagar. For this Hagar is Mount Sinai in Arabia, and answereth to Jerusalem, which now is. Which Jerusalem are talking about the circumcision. Okay? And is in bondage with her children. You see? Those that wanted to stick to that first covenant standard, ultimately you in bondage at the end of the day. You know, those that denied Yahushua, you're in bondage at that point, right? It says, but Jerusalem which is above is free. Now, what does this word above here mean? Above, ano, upward. You see, upward. In Galatians 4 and 26, the word could refer to either place or time, i.e. place. The Jerusalem which is above in the heavens time, that Jerusalem which is above is talking about the first fruits. Okay? The heavenly assembly, the elect, those that were predestinated from the beginning. That's the Jerusalem which is from above. Okay? The eternal Jerusalem which preceded the earthly one. Which is talking about the elect. Okay? Those whose names are written in heaven. Those who are predestinated. You see? That's why Yahushua said you have to be born again to enter into the kingdom. And that word again means to be born from above. Upward. You see, those that are, but Jerusalem, which is from above, is free. Psalm 32 and 1. Okay? Blessed is he. Matter of fact, let's get it real quick. Psalm 32. Because that's what it ultimately boils down to, is who Yahweh B'Shem Shai ultimately is going to have mercy on, those spirits that are predestinated from the beginning. All right, blessed is he whose transgression is forgiven, whose sin is covered. The only way that your sin can be covered and your transgression to be forgiven is if you're born from above. Blessed is the man unto whom Yahweh imputeth not iniquity, which is sin, and whose spirit there is no guile. Because ultimately that spirit that has no guile is a spirit who Yahweh B'Shem Shai chose from the beginning, which is by promise. You see, it is by promise. I'm curious to see that word again in John 3. You got to be born again to enter into the kingdom. I wonder if it's the same word as above. Yahushua answered and said unto them, John 3 and 3, verily, verily, I say unto thee, except a man be born again, he cannot see the kingdom of the Most High. All right, let's just see what that word again here is. Anotin. But the root word is ano. There it is right there. Being born again, being born from above. You see that? Okay. Let's go back and read it again. Galatians 4 and 26. Okay. Galatians 4 and 26. But Jerusalem which is above is free, born from above, the heavenly Jerusalem, which is the mother of us all. So it's Jerusalem is the mother of us all when it comes to the actual place, the land of Israel, because everybody like to say, we all from Africa, Africa's the motherland. Nah, the motherland, it began in the garden eastward in Eden, and that garden eastward in Eden is talking about Jerusalem. You see, but on a deeper note, which is the mother of us all, goes into those first fruits, because ultimately through the first fruits, the elect, the whole nation is gonna come back. Okay. Verse 27. Verse 27, for it is written, rejoice, thou barren that bearest not. Now he's quoting Isaiah 54. Rejoice, thou barren that bearest not. Break forth and cry, thou that travailest not. For the desolate hath many more children than she which hath an husband. The desolate is talking about the Israelite foreigners or the Gentiles, and she which hath an husband, okay, is talking about the circumcision. Okay, that's what that's talking about. Okay, that's what that is going into. All right. For the desolate hath many more children, because we were once desolate, but those that were desolate who fell off are now being brought back. Okay? For the desolate hath many more children than she which hath an husband. Because ultimately what makes you a wife unto the Lord is being bound unto that contract, that agreement, that marriage agreement. You see? Which we all as Israelites were bound unto that agreement. You see, but the circumcision was still holding on to that first agreement. Which that first agreement, there was no way to be brought back. There was no way to be brought back. I had to. I'm sorry. It's an inside joke, man. So like it. There's no way to be brought back. Oh man, Slacky, man. I had to. Man. It was burning inside me to say it like that, man. I had to. This is Luke 15, and this is the parable of the prodigal son. All right, this is Luke 15 and 17. It says, and when he came to himself, when he remembered himself, he said, and this is talking about the son that fell away. How many hired servants of my father's have bread enough to spare, and I perish with hunger? See, because you had that one son that was there. He pretty much didn't splurge his dad's money, but the other son just went out and just went haywire, just went ham. You see. And he was like, he just wasted everything away. All right, so it says, I will arise and go to my father, and will say unto him, Father, I have sinned against heaven. He acknowledged his sin. I have sinned against heaven, and before thee, and am no more worthy to be called thy son. You see, make me as one of thy hired servants. Verse 20, and he arose and came to his father. Right. But when he was yet a great way off, when we was far off, Ephesians 2, hint, hint, his father saw him and had compassion and ran and fell on his neck and kissed him. That's the rejoicing right there. And the son said unto him, Father, I have sinned against heaven in thy sight, and am no more worthy to be called thy son. That's what made us desolate, is whenever we fell off. But the father said to his servants, right? Bring forth the best robe and put it on him, and put a ring on his hand and shoes on his feet. Which that ring on his hand and shoes on his feet, all right, goes into what? Being clothed with them garments, man. You see? Put on our beautiful garments of Jerusalem. You see? Being clothed with this knowledge, man. Yahweh B'Shem Al Shai is calling us back. We've been brought back into that covenant. But it's with better circumstances. Okay, Lord willing, this is all making sense. I'm going to go ahead and get ready to wrap it up. Isaiah 54, verse 2, it says, enlarge the place of thy tent, which is talking about the earth being enlarged, and let them stretch forth the curtains of thine habitations. Spare not, lengthen thy cords, and strengthen thy stakes. Okay? Because you got weak-minded ass Israelite minds. If everybody going to be here, how everybody going to fit in Jerusalem in the world? How everybody going to fit? You dummy. The Lord can expand the earth, man. What are you talking? The earth is going to be expanded. It's going to be big. Come on, man. You got to think. See, Jake still got that apartment mentality, man. John 14, I go and prepare a place for you. Come on now. Verse 3, for thou shalt break forth on the right hand and on the left. And thy seed, which means we're going to have children, shall inherit the Gentiles. We're going to have slaves. They're going to be our inheritance, and make the desolate cities to be inhabited. Fear not, for thou shalt not be ashamed, neither be thou confounded. Right? For thou shalt not be put to shame, for thou shalt forget the shame of thy youth, and shalt not remember the reproach of thy widowhood anymore. You see, the Lord going to cause all that to go away whenever he beautifies us, man. You see? So, Lord willing, this is an edifying lesson. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, B'Hashem Yahweh Shai, B'Hashem Chakudash. Double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders, a great millstone that taught us the truth, and that's what teaching is truth. And as always, much peace, love, and salutations to the elect. Until next time, Lord willing, I'll say shalom.